flying on by. Hopefully everyone is well. As the old Facebook Live is getting a bit warmed up and people are jumping on. I'll do the quick intros and say welcome back to those who are the regulars, those who are here every day. Usually get a few of the keen beans who continue to come back to our morning chats every morning around about 8 o'clock. Hey, good morning, James. Good morning, Alison. Every morning around about 8 o'clock, we get together, have a quick coffee chat, usually around about 10 minutes to 15 minutes long, sometimes a bit longer if we get a bit wound up and get going. But for you guys, morning to all of you. Morning, Karen, Yasmin, and so on. Hey, listen, while we're there, I'm just going to chuck in the chat, gang. I'm just going to try and do something here. Give me 2 seconds. For those like Karen, right now, Karen, there is a little thing that I found the other day that I might need to do for you guys in the chat. So let me see if I can do that. No, I can't do it live. I have to do it another time. Anyway, sorry, Karen. You'll have to keep chucking your name in there for a second. I think there's a special link. I worked it out the other day. But good to see you anyway, Karen. Thanks for dropping by, as always. Graham, you're there as well. Good morning, mate. And good morning, Yasmin. Thanks, Christopher. Cheers, mate. Hope you're well and back on track as we all need to be. Anyway, today I want to talk to you guys about the 7 plans. And Sam mentioned these the other night. Craig, how are you, mate? There's a bunch of morning, Aaron. Oh, if you're new, there's a couple of people dropping by every now and then. If you're new, give us a shout out in the chat. Say good morning. Say hello. Welcome. Jason Witten's my name. Been property investing over 20 years, coaching property investors 18 plus across Australia and New Zealand. So, like I said a bit earlier, each morning we get together with a bunch of crazy cats like Aaron and others, and we just talk about property investing. But this morning we're going to talk about the 7 plans, the 7 concepts that that we need to understand are going to be part of our future when it comes to growing our wealth through property. And I'm going to sort of roll through those this morning, and let's have a bit of a chat about what those are. So let's jump over and get a bit of a visual going, and I'm going to try and draw a circle that works on the iPad here. But let's have a go here. I think there we go. That'll work. Hopefully everyone can see that one as we're rolling along. And so again, across our portfolio, through the 3 stages of investing, you guys know these stages as we go. There's the acquisition stage. Let's get that camera in the way there. There's the acquisition stage. This is the stage of us purchasing and buying and building our portfolio, or at least the starting point of the frenzy of the activity that we're going to build our portfolio. This is the 3 stages, gang. We need to understand this intimately. The 3 stages of building our portfolio. The acquisition stage, we call it the consolidation stage, and it's commonly called or subcategorized as the maintain, maximise, and manage stage for our consolidation. And the 3rd stage is what we would call a lifestyle or a legacy stage, where we've achieved a certain thing that we can either turn it into cash flow or do something else. So let's go through the plans that we need to have a bit of a think about when it comes to the process of building our portfolio. Number 1, we have to have a plan for growth. A plan for growth, a capital growth plan, gang. And as we roll around and have a think about what are we doing when it comes to the growth of our real estate. Now, I've said to you guys many times, I think I think capital growth is a vanity metric, okay? It's certainly not a metric, a measurement of success when it comes to property investing. And uh, it can be part of our success metric, but if you just have growth as the only metric, you're going to be sad because our properties grow sometimes, our properties go backwards sometimes, and our properties go sideways sometimes. But the important part of a growth plan is when we buy our properties, what is your plan? Why and how do you think that property will grow in value? Okay. And Sam teaches the 4X growth matrix, and I'm not going to dive deep into that today. But, the quality of the location, are you adding value to that property? Is it in a capital growth area with supply and demand issues in your favor, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? What is your growth plan for your property when it comes to purchasing that property? Now, it's only one of the 7 plans that will create success for you as a property investor, gang. So, we need to make sure we really understand the parts that we need to. The next part of our plan matrix, or our plan pie here, is our rental growth plan. Now, this one, team, is, I think, the most important one. I think it's the one that's going to create the wealth that you want in the future, because you want, for the most part, you want to live off the rental value in the future. And so this one is an extremely important plan to get right. And a lot of people don't have one. They say, I bought a property. Now, I hope it's going to, do what it's going to do. Again, we teach things like making sure, every 7 to 10 years, you might do a minor renovation. Every 15 to 20 years, you do a major renovation on your property, and you have put money aside in the buffer account or created redraw or equity on the property that you can renovate the property to keep it up to speed when it comes to the rent growth. And we teach the 3 qualities on the rent growth plan: the quality of your tenant, the quality of your location, and the quality of the property. And surrounding that is the quality of your property manager. Okay, so what is your rental growth plan when it comes to your properties and your property portfolio? Who's going to be helping you grow the rent? What's going to drive the value growth of that property? It's a bit of an uneven pie, but you guys know what I'm getting on about here. So roll with me. I'm not the greatest artist when it comes to these sorts of things. Listen, what is your tax minimization plan? What's your tax minimization plan? We've talked about this many times, gang. How do you minimize your PAYG income as you're going along? PAYG variation. How do you minimize your capital gains tax? Understanding your structures. Buying properties in your personal name. You've got a capital gains tax-free home. Buying property in a super, potentially capital gains tax-free in the future, low tax environment right now. How do you minimize land tax? How do you minimize stamp duty and so on? As a property investor, these are the plans. These are the things we need to know and understand as we go along, that we can that will accelerate and maximize our wealth as property investors. Okay, and you guys have heard me talk about this often. Tax minimization plan. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep, about how much you end up in your pocket. I've met a lot of people who made more money than me, and they certainly don't have the net result in their bank account or in their property portfolio. They've made more money, but their expenses were way higher than they should have been as they went along. Tax minimization plan. What is your debt reduction plan? Okay. what is the debt reduction plan for you and your portfolio? Let's put that down there. Number 4. How are you going to smash the debt down? When are you going to smash the debt down? I've talked about this endlessly in my morning coffee chats and with you guys as well. Yet often we don't have the capacity to smash everything down at the same time. To buy new properties, to grow our portfolio, and to pay debt down, there's no trick to it per se. You need cash and capital to do those things. Now, for me, if you are in the acquisition phase is not time to pay debt down. Acquisition phase, when you would be maximizing your growth plan, maximizing your rent growth plan, and maximizing your tax minimization plan. That's the acquisition phase, gang. That is the acquisition phase, right there as you go along. And making sure, well, I'll rub those out because it's the blue, but you know what I'm trying to say. Here we go. Let's keep this rolling. Morning, my love. I've got 2 my loves here. Hopefully it's the same one. Morning, my love. And morning, Laura. Thanks for dropping by and hanging out with us. So, gang, growth plan, rent plan, tax plan, debt plan, and we keep rolling here. I think I'm going to fit 7 in there. I should have practiced my pieces of the pie, shouldn't I? Okay, what about a financial plan, a fin plan? Now, financial plan, gang, in my world, is an important part of what we need to understand when it comes to the risks in our life. Now, financial plan, I'm not talking about buying shares or stuff like that, which some of you, it might include. I'm talking about life insurances. I'm talking about major insurances across your portfolio when it comes to income insurance. I'm talking about wills. I'm talking about structures that are created for you to move into retirement officially, okay, or efficiently. Because team gang, it's really interesting that we can get all this stuff going on, our growth plan, our rent plan, our tax minimization plan, our debt plan. But if we don't have a really good financial plan when it comes to our structures and our ability to trigger the changeover between when we're working and full-time employed to when we are not working / retirement / lifestyle phase, we will have some real inefficiency when it comes to that transition phase, and a financial plan and a financial planner will be absolutely critical for that stage, that transition part from working full-time into semi-retired into full-time retired. A financial plan is absolutely imperative, okay, as we go along. Not to be confused with your acquisition concept across buying some properties, okay? A financial plan and / financial planner that's not their cup of tea. That's not their specialty. So don't take advice from a financial planner about buying property, okay? That's my position on that one, I can tell you. Anyway, I won't do a rant today. I'm just trying to share some knowledge today. Jason. Stick to the plan. Stick to your presentation plan, Jason. I need to have another color here. I'm trying to make it nice and colorful for everyone. Let's have a look at gray. So we've got the growth plan, the rent plan, the tax plan, the debt plan, the fin plan, and we need to have our buying power, our BP, and servicing plan, okay? Now, that probably should have went at the start, but you know what I'm trying to say here. This is our ability to borrow money, okay? A buying power and servicing plan. you have to manage and maintain your ability, your effectiveness, your attractiveness to the lenders when it comes to borrowing money. Unless a bunch of you guys have got, you're sleeping on millions of dollars underneath the pillow, right? Then you need to make sure, what does it take for me to borrow? What does it take? What do you need to look like? What's your income need to look like? How much capital and equity do you need to provide to this system when it comes to borrowing money? And let's say borrowing between $3 and $4 million. That's what it takes. All right, gang, to do this. What's it going to take? Okay, as we roll along, and away we go. So, maintaining and managing your ability to borrow, absolutely vital through the concept of where we're going and what we're up to, okay? And making sure we really get the gist when it comes to that sort of stuff. And let's have a look at the last one, which is I would always call this one the last one, and I would call it an acceleration plan, okay? Acceleration plan. How do you take a small amount of money and make a large amount of money out of? Now, you might be 5, you might be 10, you might be 15 years down the track now with your portfolio. And you and I, we've chatted about this before. If you don't know what I'm talking about, gang, go back and try and find a couple of my lives I put in. It's called equity arbitrage, where your equity it gets momentum and outgrows your ability to continue to leverage it and buy more property with it directly, because your income gets left behind. Like the capital growth just takes off and your income gets left behind. Now that's normal. That's not abnormal, gang. Right now, you could imagine you started your property portfolio 15, 20 years ago, and you were in the market right now with maybe $4 or $5 million worth of real estate, let's say 2 years ago. You can just imagine the portfolio right now would go from 5 million to 8 million to 10 million maybe in a very short period of time. And your ability to borrow when that market's just gone, really nicely, gets left behind. So then the acceleration plan is, how do you now start accessing that equity, that large amounts of equity, to do other things? And we've talked about this before as well. Getting access to $100, $200, $300, $500,000 worth of your equity that you are not going to buy another property with, and start to now accelerate that income. I like joint ventures. You could do all sorts of things when it comes to accelerating that income. We do small joint ventures and small developments, and we make anywhere between 15 and 25% annually on that money. So you've got money that is sitting there in equity, maybe saving you 3%. You take that money out, and now it's going to cost you 3%, but you now go and make 15, 18, 20%. The net result for your acceleration phase is absolutely, woo, you beauty. Now we're talking, okay? Now we're talking when it comes to this sort of stuff. So hopefully that makes sense, gang, when it comes to, here's the 7 plans. We've got 7 plans. We've got to make sure we make the most of those 7 plans across the 3 stages we're going to be in when it comes to our property investment portfolio. And when do you apply those plans? How do you get the most out of those plans? You guys know my opinion. My opinion is you have a coach, an experienced property investment coach, as many of you guys are on the call this morning do have, to help you maximize those. So if anyone doesn't have a coach, you need one, for crying out loud. If you want to win the Olympics, which is what you're trying to do as a property investor here, less than 10% of 1% of the population have ever gotten where you want to go, then make that part of your plan as you go along. There becomes a point. Yep, you're dead right. It becomes challenging to get access to the money, right? And so this is, it's an interesting one. I've done this a few times, and part of your consolidation moving into lifestyle phase as we go along, is pretty important. Now, you guys might freak out when I say this, but, if at some point you can't access some of that capital, listen up, I've got a secret. I might even support you selling one of your properties to get cash instead of equity to do acceleration. Yeah, listen. So, but the point is, at some point in the future, you have to reanalyze your plan to get the most out of it. In the beginning, the first 10 to 15 years, buy well, never sell, ever. This is about growing your wealth, growing your platform for you to spring from into the future, gang. So, yeah, don't miss that one. And we will dive deeper into this stuff as we go along. Allison asked about financial planning. Yes, absolutely, 100%, Allison. It's an important part of our plans that we put together because team, gang, life can happen in weird and wonderful ways, and you want to have these kind of, emergency concepts locked away, tucked away as we're going along. So there's the 7 plans. Hope that they make sense. It should have gone in this sequence, but I'll put buying and servicing plan, your income plan, how to get the maximum borrowing, your growth plan, your rent plan, your tax minimization plan, your debt reduction plan, your financial plan when it comes to life insurance, wills, future structures for rolling over from where you are to where you want to be, and your acceleration plan, how to make the most out of the wealth that you have, gang. So there you go. It is done. Another coffee and a chat done and dusted for another day. Thank you, Sam, for the plan. Hopefully you guys are awesome and well. Give us a shout out in the chat if you need anything. But yeah, it's done. Wednesday. Join me tomorrow, Thursday, for another coffee and a chat. You guys take care. Have an awesome day. And bye for now, team. Adios. Cheers, Glenn. Bye, team.